Hi there, this is Aaron. Today is Saturday the 9th of April and it's day 5 of 2016 on the allotment. It's been a good few weeks since you've seen a video from me. The last one was at the beginning of March and I shared with you what my plans are for the year. Now I think everybody that looked at it suddenly thought to themselves, well, that's an awful lot to get done, Aaron. And you're absolutely right, and I'm not making as good a progress as I had hoped. I'm still getting the plot dug, and I'm probably behind on just about everything. Now the reason for that is because of the weather. Now you can probably see it looks really overcast today, and it was raining before I got here. It's been raining whilst I've been here, and I expect it to start raining anytime soon. It's really started to become a bit of a joke on the social forums on the internet that when I come up to my plot, everybody knows it's going to rain, and so everybody else should stay home. So there's not been too much digging to be done, but fortunately I am able to have a nice cup of tea while I'm here. So that's passed the time, even if we've not been able to get done everything that we wanted to. What is ready are my onions that I have been growing under lights. There have been two sorts of onions I've been growing. I've been growing onions from seed and onions from sets. And I've also had some garlic that I've been growing as well. One of the things that I wanted to show you is the results of my garlic experiment for the year. Now these, you can see there that there's one just started to grow. These are garlic cloves that I just put in modules and I left them out in natural light. So they went in February and they got the natural light that was in the sky. And this is how they've done. Now compare that to this. This was put in at exactly the same time. I planted it on the same day at the same time. The difference is that these were put under lights, and you can see these are over a foot. Really healthy leaves, looking absolutely great. The soil is sort of well drained. It's really looking good. So as far as I can see, it looks to me as if the garlic under the lights has definitely produced the best results. So this is the first of my crops that I'm planting out now, and this is a little bit unorthodox. In fact, it's quite a lot unorthodox. What I've been doing is I've been growing garlic indoors under lights. Now I've been growing them in these modules, and you can see that they have become very, very root bound. Another year perhaps I won't use modules, perhaps I'll use little pots. But the reason I did it is because the ground wasn't ready. It is now. So this is my first opportunity to put garlic in. Now of course if I was doing this sort of just putting cloves in the ground, that would be absolutely useless, which is why I've done it like this. I don't know if it's going to work. I'll be very pleased if it does. And I had no other choice. So I'm going to carry on putting these in. Now what I'm using is last year's potato compost, and it had a mixture of lots of really nice things. So I think that this compost is still going to be pretty good, and so I think my garlic is going to grow really well in this. So fingers crossed, eh? So there is my garlic all in, planted out. I hope that it's going to do really well. Now what happens next is the big change from last year to this year, and let's see about that right now. Well, it feels good to get something in the ground. I'm really pleased with the garlic. I've never had garlic that's been this far ahead before, and it doesn't seem to have suffered for being under the lights and then coming out into the elements either. So I'm really pleased with that. There are things to learn from the onion sets, because my grow tents, it's not terribly tall, and they did sort of reach up quite a lot, and a lot of those leaves got damaged as they were hitting the top of the tent and actually flopped over. So I think in another year what I've got to do is remember not to leave onion sets in that long, just to get them started off. So we've got something to learn there. What I do want to show you is my Kelsae onions. Now these have also sort of hit the top and they've been burned a little bit, but I think they're going to be fine. And the next thing to do is get these in. Well, I'm certainly really pleased with these onions. Now, I know they're not up to Dan's standards, and neither am I. But just being able to get onions on as far as this early in the season, I've never done that before. I know that I should have potted these on. I didn't have the room. I'll be much better prepared about how quickly they grow under lights next year. So it is always a learning experience. But in terms of what I've got now, I'm really pleased. So what I'm doing is just digging a hole in the dirt. These have got very, very root bound. And this is not the perfect way to do things at all. But we'll do better next year. So what I then do, little hole, in goes my onion. Perfect. Now I've just got to do the rest of them. Now that my onions and my garlic are in, this is now the first part of what is going to be my big experiment for this year. Now, there's probably a lot of people that might be familiar with somebody called Paul Grautschi. I think that's how you pronounce it. And his method of gardening, which is called Eden method, or back to Eden gardening. And what you do is you cover the ground with wood chips. Now I know that Chris from the Allotment shed last year, he tried this method out, and I've been sort of chatting with Chris on his forums, and he's told me that yeah, he definitely believes it works and it's working really well for him. So that's what we're going to have a go now. And what you do is that you plant your crops and then you put a really thick mulch layer of wood chips down. Now there are many people that say that wood chips, take nitrogen out of the soil, and that's true, they do absorb nitrogen, but they absorb nitrogen, according to this method, from the layer of soil that it's in contact with. It doesn't sort of suck it up from deep beneath. And if you think about it, if it did, then nothing would ever grow near a tree. And I'm looking around and I can see plenty of crops growing around a tree. So I'm going to try this out. So we've got the onions and the garlic in. So the next thing to do is to find a source of wood chips. And here is my wood chip. We've come up one end of the plot now that I don't usually come to, and I've just suddenly found all this here, and it's there for all of us to use. So I'm going to need all of this, I think, to cover the area. It had apparently been here for quite some time, so it's actually started to break down already, which is brilliant. So what I'm going to do is use it as a mulch, and it's going to suppress the weeds. It's going to keep everything insulated. It means that moisture doesn't evaporate as quickly, and of course every time it rains, as it has done constantly today, everything that's breaking down suddenly becomes a nice little bit of compost tea for all the plants. So all in all, this is a good find. And so here it is, the first of my Eden beds. Just as the sun's coming out, finally for the day, I can show you that here is my garlic, and these are actually my onion sets that are now in, and they're fully wood chipped up. There's about, I don't know, there's about 8 inches in there, so there's plenty of wood chips there, and this is what I hope is going to make life a lot easier for me. when it comes to weeding, because hopefully the wood chips are going to suppress the weeds. But also, everything I've read says that this is going to make the soil really rich, so that then I can grow better crops. We'll certainly see. And so now, as finally the sun comes out, it's getting towards the end of the day. I'm going to do a little bit more because today has been a day of interruptions. But this back to Eden gardening method that I've discovered, I'm certainly going to persevere with it. Everything I've read suggests that it's going to work. It's of course got its detractors because it's not what some might call proper gardening. But I'm going to give it a go, and I'll certainly keep you informed of how we're doing. But so far, onions and garlic, they're in. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Allotment. Goodbye.